Good morning, or if you're in other parts of the world, maybe good afternoon. 343 and Microsoft just dropped the campaign overview, and I've had the chance to watch it a few times, and so in this video, we're just going to go over everything I noticed that seemed notable, although I won't be diving too deep into any lore implications, because that's not really my specialty, and I'm sure plenty other people are going to make that video for you. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So basically this morning we got a 6-minute and 20-second video, kind of narrated by the new AI, where they showed us a variety of different gameplay sections and snippets of different cutscenes to kind of give us the vibe of what the Halo Infinite campaign is going to be, while obviously the AI kind of narrated the whole thing and kind of gave some information onto what was going on and to what we could expect. Overall, at first look at least, I would say that this campaign showing looks a heck of a lot better than the showing we got back in 2020, though this one clearly is a lot more cut up than that previous version, which was just a raw section of gameplay. This video does include sections of cutscenes we had already seen before, along with gameplay in the same area from the previous campaign showing. However, there is plenty of new campaign footage to be found in this video. Throughout the video, you can really tell the more open and grand nature of the Halo Infinite campaign, as you really can tell how big and expansive these levels are going to be compared maybe to some of the previous games. While that does seem really cool and I like that, I do hope that we still get those polished experiences that we got in the previous Halo games that sometimes you kind of lose when you start to play an open world game. One notable thing that was in this video is that there are stations on the map where you can call in vehicles, and it looks like probably also call in weapons if you look there in the background, but specifically in this video, Master Chief walks up and calls in a wasp. This is kind of to be expected with it being open world, but was definitely worth mentioning. With it being open world, we also have our big TAC map that they showed a little bit more about that really highlights how Halo has taken a more open world approach. The way that this map is shown to us, it makes me think that the campaign is going to be broken up into at least multiple smaller different areas, because if you look in the corner over here, you have the area collectibles, and also just the map doesn't look as big as you would expect it to if this was going to be the entire game. That said, there does seem to be a lot of collectibles, at least on this area of the campaign, so there seems to be plenty to do if you're looking to kind of go around and 100% the game. That said, you can clearly tell that this is very open world-esque. There's references to fast travel that you can use. You can see the strongholds and outposts that I think they call keeps that you can choose to attack or probably have to attack in certain scenarios that you'll be very, very familiar with if you've played any open world game in probably the past 10 years. There's even a huge change to the way kind of Halo works at its core, whereas in previous games, Master Chief just was Master Chief. You had all your abilities from the start of the game, and the only thing that would really progress was maybe some of the weapons or vehicles you'd find throughout the game. In this game though, there's this upgrade screen that you can see where using the Spartan core system that you can use to upgrade your equipment and maybe your weapons. They didn't show that, but in this case specifically upgrade your equipment. They even showed a little snippet of a boss fight against the character Tremoius, whose name I'm absolutely butchering, which has health bars for I think the first time in Halo's history, so that'll be a little bit different. Hopefully those are pretty fun boss fights. In this little snippet here, he seemed to take him down pretty fast, so I'm just hoping they aren't basically just more bullet spongy enemies, but that'll be something I'll have to wait and see when we get the game or get more footage. The narrator throughout the video talks about how we have a lot of returning favorites in terms of enemies, and we see that throughout the video with the hunters and the jackals and the grunts and the elites, but there's also a new set of enemies called the skimmers, which appear to be some type of flying enemy maybe, or at least have the ability to fly with these jetpack looking things. Hopefully they're not too annoying, because I found Halo's flying enemies like the drones in the past extremely annoying to fight against, but all we got was this tiny little snippet, so there's not much to judge from there. There's also this badass looking elite named Jaga or Domni, whose again name I'm probably butchering, that appears to be a banished elite that dual wields swords, and I mean, what gets cooler than that? After that, I think they show a snippet of a Forerunner type enemy that maybe you have to fight or at least encounter in the cutscenes during Halo Infinite. So yeah, there's going to be a ton of new characters and new things to go up against in Halo Infinite. One thing though that I do think is important to note is that throughout the video, other than the inside portions of the different levels, the game does appear to just be that one style of biome, being that Pacific Northwest-esque environment with, you know, greenery and kind of large trees and everything like that. Don't get me wrong, that is a very cool environment, but I hope there are sections of levels that take you to different areas and kind of keep that fresh, because in basically every other game in Halo's history, we've had have pretty varied biomes as you go from level to level. And that's pretty much the main things that I saw in this 6-minute video. It's really cool. Go check it out if you haven't watched it. I do recommend giving it a look, and I'm excited to just play the game. My only concern, and this isn't even a concern that's really very valid since we haven't seen enough, is I hope that Halo Infinite doesn't feel too open world. If you've played any Ubisoft game in the past 5 years, they basically feel open world to the detriment of open world with all the objectives on the map, and you kind of lose what makes games fun when they have a focused linear direction. I hope Halo Infinite hasn't gone that route too much, but again, that's hard to judge off of a 6-minute video and various cutscenes that 343 has shown to us. We're less than 2 months away from the launch now, which is absolutely crazy, and it's going to be here sooner than we probably realize. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Make sure you follow me over on Twitch. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and you can also follow me over on Twitter or Instagram. And with that said, I'll see you all next time.